3, 4. Audio test 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Good Sunday afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Bears and Eagles Riverfront Stadium here in Newark, New Jersey, for our broadcast of New Jersey City University baseball here on the Green and Gold Network. Today, one day delayed because of rain, the Gothic Knights and the Scarlet Raiders opened their 2012 New Jersey Athletic Conference schedules with a pair of 9-inning games, as the Gothic Knights, 8-9, visit the Scarlet Raiders, 9-7 on the year. The Gothic Knights today will have their top two pitchers in the rotation, Wendell Rodriguez and Nelson Maldonado, at work after going to the bullpen to get through the non-conference slate this week, and it did not work out well for the Gothic Knights. They defeated John Jay 4-3 on Tuesday, but lost a 7-4 contest at Lehman, and then gave up 7 unearned runs in the first inning on Thursday and lost to Drew 10-4. So the Gothic Knights trying to avoid a 3-game losing streak for the first time this year, coming in at 8-9. NJCU, the visiting team, wearing green today. The batting order today for NJCU: Michael Patterson will lead off and play center field. Andrew Rivera bats second. He's the left fielder. Michael Martucci, shortstop, batting third, with Alex Weinstein, the cleanup hitter, playing first base. Rob Romans, the designated hitter, batting fifth. In a very interesting move, Orlando Bolano will get his first career start behind the plate. We don't even list him as a catcher on the roster. He bats sixth today. Matt Wagner, the NJAC Rookie of the Week, bats seventh. Brian Bastillo, the third baseman, bats eighth. And Juan Cruz, the second baseman, bats ninth. Michael Patterson leads off against Kyle Van Vliet, who is 4-1 on the year, a previous NJAC and NJCVA Pitcher of the Week, and first pitch of the game is a called strike. Defensive alignment today for the Bears, that's right, Bears and Eagles Riverfront Stadium, for the Scarlet Raiders, wearing their white home uniform with red trim, as that's fouled off of the facing to our right. And count is 1-2 to Michael Patterson, who's been moving up and down the order. He's hit first, second, third, sixth. He had a lot of success at sixth earlier in the week, but back at the top of the lineup. And that's foul away as well. Kyle Van Vliet will throw to Anthony Palladino. Vincent Troiosi is the first baseman. Andrew Nasty is the second baseman. Kevin Olad short, and Tim Miller at third. In the air, shallow right field, coming in and making the catch is the right fielder Jimmy Napolitano. Chris Ballister is the center fielder, and Jason McCluskey, the left fielder.
Batting second, left fielder number 1, Andrew Rivera.
So Andrew Rivera, the junior co-captain for Medicine, New Jersey, will bat, hitting .319 on the season. Van Vliet has been awesome this year. The 6'2", 205-pound right-hander from Glen Rock, New Jersey. And first pitch to the left-handed hitting Rivera is a ball. Glen Rock, a town over from where I grew up in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, up in Bergen County. He is 4-1 on the year. Rivera swings and misses. He was early at that one. And it's 1-1. That's outside. Andrew Rivera on the season, hitting .319. He leads the team with 14 RBIs. That's fouled away into the screen. 23 for 72 coming in. 9 runs scored, 5 doubles, 1 triple. Of course, that triple was a big one. There was a bases clearing triple 1 week ago when NJCU knocked off 27th ranked St. Joseph, Maine, coming in the bottom of the 8th inning. The 2-2 pitch in the air, left center field. Kluski is there, and he makes the catch, 2 away.
Batting third, shortstop, number 10, Michael Martucci.
So that will bring up the number 3 hitter in the lineup, Michael Martucci, redshirt freshman, hitting .368 on the team. Tops of anyone in the lineup today. Second on the team overall. 28 for 76, 17 runs, 11 RBIs, and he swings. And first pitch is foul tipped. Martucci, the NJAC Rookie Hitter of the Week and the NJCBA State Rookie of the Week 2 weeks ago. Gothic Knights have received that award from the NJAC and the NJCBA in back-to-back weeks. That's fouled away. Martucci, of course, a transfer from Division I St. Peter's, where he did play 5 games last year but received a medical hardship waiver. Never played a game as a positional player. Saw 5 games as a pitcher. 0-2, the pitch by Van Vliet. Curveball called strike 3. And Martucci goes down on strikes, and Van Vliet with a 1-2-3 first inning to get things going for the Scarlet Raiders. So in the first for the Gothic Knights, no runs, no hits, nobody left on. We'll bring you the lineup now today for the Scarlet Raiders. Leading off and playing center field, number 15, Chris Ballister. The number 2 hitter is Vincent Troiosi, the first baseman, number 28. Batting third, the designated hitter is Michael Sierra Mello, with Tim Miller, the third baseman, the cleanup hitter, batting fourth. Jimmy Napolitano bats fifth. He's the right fielder, with the catcher, Anthony Palladino, batting sixth. Kevin Ola, the shortstop, bats seventh, with Andrew Nasty at second base, batting eighth, and Jason McCluskey, the left fielder, rounding out the 9-batter lineup. Defensively today for NJCU, Nelson Maldonado gets his 5th start of the year, his 7th appearance overall. He is 1-1 with a 2.93 ERA in 30.2 innings of work. He has 19 strikeouts versus just 9 walks and an opposing batting average of .262. He's allowed just 10 earned runs in 30.2 innings of work. Today he throws to Orlando Bolano, making his first start as a catcher, first appearance whatsoever as a catcher in his first season as a junior transfer for the Gothic Knights. Alex Weinstein plays first, as he does every day. Juan Cruz, who actually pitched against Drew, the 5th position he played this year, he's at second base today, with Michael Martucci at short and Brian Bastillo at third. Andrew Rivera is the left fielder, Michael Patterson in center, and Matt Wagner in right. Your home plate umpire today is James Grillo, and Mark Lima, the field umpire. Ballister, who's been a Gothic Knight killer throughout his career. Hitting .404 overall. An overcast day here in Newark, New Jersey. A game doubleheader that was supposed to have been played yesterday, but due to heavy rain was pushed back on Friday. A good call by the head coaches Mark Rizzi and Jerry Smith, agreeing to push this one off, as we would have been washed out regardless. First pitch to Ballister, the leadoff hitter, is ball 1. Outside corner. Fastball by Maldonado. 1 ball, 1 strike. The only senior on this year's team, Maldonado. As that's hit in the air to left field, Rivera comes over, dives, and he makes the catch! Andrew Rivera with a diving catch leading towards the line. That's his 3rd diving catch of the season, and that was a thing of beauty.
Batting second, first baseman, number 28, Vin Troisi.
And on just the 3rd pitch of the game, I think we have our ECAC Video Play of the Week nominee. Great catch by Rivera, and that brings up the first baseman, Troisi. And that's something that can really help ignite a team which has lost back-to-back games.
First baseman, Vin Troisi.
Troisi, a sophomore left-handed hitter from Hackensack, swings and misses. 6'1", 180 pounds. So Maldonado, and the only senior in the team, a mathematics major from right here in Newark, New Jersey. That's fouled off. Off a seat in the upper level. Maldonado threw 1 inning in relief on his bullpen throwing day against Drew on Thursday. Ground ball over the head of Maldonado. Cruz charges on the run, throws to first in time, and there's 2 away.
Batting third, designated hitter, number 6, Mike Ciaramello.
So that will bring up the designated hitter, Michael Ciaramello. On the season, a .235 hitter. This is his 17th game. He's 12 for 51 overall in the year, with 3 extra base hits and 7 RBIs. On the first pitch, strike 1. In that game against Drew, Maldonado, 1 inning, allowed 1 hit. He struck out 3, walked 1. Hopped in the air. Foul territory. Weinstein gives look and almost hits Mom, who's watching the game on the right side of the first base dugout. But it is fouled away. And it's 0-2 to Ciaramello as we bat here in the bottom of the first inning in game number 1. Game 2 would begin at approximately 3 o'clock, but there is more rain in the forecast as it's bounced into the left side batter's box and past Bolano. There is a great deal of foul territory here at Riverfront Stadium, unlike at the Garrity Complex, where there's a screen, batting cage 8 feet behind the plate. Ground ball, leaping is Bastillo. Long throw to first is in time. Great play by Brian Bastillo to snow cone that ball and throw across the diamond and retire the side. In the first inning here in Newark, no runs, no hits, nobody left on. A couple nice defensive plays for the Gothic Knights as we head to the second inning. Back here for the top of the second inning, it'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Weinstein, Roman, and Bolano, as the Gothic Knights were retired 1, 2, 3 in the first. Margie Alfano from the women's soccer team was helping us out on camera today. Says she got a good shot of that diving catch by Rivera, so we will be sending that to SportsCenter later tonight and hopefully make a top 10. That looked like it caught the catcher on the right hand, and in a great deal of pain is Anthony Palladino behind the plate trying to shake that off, and that's something that can linger for the rest of the game. I believe it's a foul ball, so it should be 1-1. Not a pleasant feeling at all.
ball inside corner, and it's 1-2. Line drive towards the second baseman. Nasty third first in time. So Weinstein's retired 4-3, and that brings up the designated hitter, Rob Roman, hitting .327 on the year. Roman, who started the year as the starting second baseman but has had defensive troubles, will be a mainstay in the lineup, though, because he does consistently get on base, and he's hitting .327 right now as he takes strike one. He's got 11 RBIs without having an extra base hit this year. That says a lot about his ability to make contact. Ground ball towards first. Troyosi flips to the pitcher, and Van Vliet on the bag for the second out. So a 3-1, and that brings up today's starting catcher, Orlando Bolano. Bolano, who's made a couple great throws from right field to the plate for outfield assist this year, and a couple of third base as well, gets to start behind the plate for the first time. Bolano, just his 8th start as he looks at strike one. Only 5 hits and 25 at-bats, but he does have 2 doubles on the season and a .375 on-base percentage. He has walked 7 times. The 0-1 pitch by Van Vliet in the air, foul, and out of play, bouncing into the concourse. This is the largest venue that NJCU plays in during the year. So different vantage point today, that's fouled away. Looks like it caught the catcher's mask. And it remains 0-2. It's actually nice to broadcast from this level. You can see the entire field, unlike at the Garrity Complex, where when you're inside the box, right behind home plate, you really miss a lot of the action. Again, that's fouled off. That's over our heads and off the roof. Van Vliet so far has thrown 23 pitches in just 4 balls. Great ratio so far. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Bolano goes down, swinging at the pitch in the dirt off the plate. And the Gothic Knights go 1-2-3 again here in the second inning. Bob, in the second inning here in Newark on a day where the team's 2 aces are at work, and so far it's been perfection as both sides have been 1, 2, 3 of the first 9 batters of the game for both sides down in order, and Nelson Maldonado, after his second inning work, will take on the third baseman, Tim Miller, who takes strike one. A one pitch by Maldonado. Fastball's off the plate. 1-1 strike. As we were mentioning, there is rain in the forecast for approximately 4 o'clock. So in the event Game 2 of today's contest is rained out, and you have to at least prepare for that possibility, Game 2 would be tomorrow here at 3:30 p.m. That is a game we would not cover, as we are the road team in this contest. It's called strike. And it's 0-2 is called by home plate umpire James Grillo. Cleanup hitter for the Raiders. Miller, 2-2 pitch. Hit in the air. Line drive. Coming in is Wagner. And Snowcone makes the catch. He reached down into the turf and actually, I think, used the leverage of having his glove against the grass to be able to make that catch.
Right fielder number 3, Jimmy Napolitano.
So another nice play by the Gothic Knight outfielders. First the diving catch by Rivera in the first inning, and now Wagner with a play not as difficult, but certainly very nice. And 4 up, 4 down so far, and that brings up the right fielder, Jimmy Napolitano, who looks at strike 1. That's fouled off right at us, and ricochets back onto the field of play. I thought we were going to have a chance there for a souvenir. Scoreboard operator cringing to my right, seeing her life flash before her eyes, so that's fouled away much further off and into the parking lot. No balls, 2 strikes. Pitch by Maldonado. Line drive. That will be a base hit through the left side of the infield, as Napolitano is the first base runner of the game for either side.
Batting in the 6th position, the catcher, number 21, Anthony Palladino.
So that will bring up the catcher, Anthony Palladino, who was hit by that foul ball in the last inning. You wonder how that will affect his grip here at the plate, because he did get hit. It appeared on the hand. Palladino wears number 21, is a senior, 6'2", 205 pounds, from Emerson, New Jersey, Emerson High School in Bergen County. As a called strike, a large lead at first base by Napolitano. Napolitano does not have a steal this year. Not even had an attempt. Ground ball foul, left at third base, and it's 0-2. And Maldonado's been getting ahead of number hitters so far early in this contest, 0-2. And with the exception of the single by Napolitano, has enjoyed success. Wendell Rodriguez, the number 2 pitcher for the Gothic Knights among conference starters, will be on the mound should we get Game 2 underway without a weather interruption. Throw to first, and diving back in safely. Weinstein had to lean for that throw by Maldonado, but back in safely is Napolitano. Ground ball. Martucci's there. Flip to Cruz for 1. On to first. Double play, and they got it easily, as Palladino was about 15 feet away from the bag by the time that throw from Cruz reached Weinstein. And the inning comes to a close, and the Gothic Knights continue to turn the double play. That is, if you look at the improvements from last year's team, and there's a number of them, from attitude to skill, but the most glaring change this year is the ability for the Gothic Knights to turn double plays. We'll have a stat on that as we get to the third inning, but here in the bottom of the second, 1 hit, nobody left, as Palladino hits into the 6-4-3 double play and the frame,
And we head to the third, scoreless in Game 1 between NJCU and Rutgers-Newark. Back here for the third inning between the Gothic Knights and the Scarlet Raiders. That is the 13th double play turn by the Gothic Knights this year.
Batting in the 7th position, right fielder, number 32, Matthew Wagner.
And just in contrast, last year in an entire season, NJCU turned 23 double plays. So more than halfway there already, with far fewer errors and just a dramatic all-around improvement defensively for the Knights. Matthew Wagner, the reigning New Jersey Athletic Conference Rookie Hitter of the Week, takes the first pitch and fouls it off to our right, and swings and misses at the second offering from Van Vliet. As you see a plane in the background make its approach to Newark Airport, which is a little bit east of us right here and off Route 21 in Newark. The 0-2 pitch off the plate. Wagner hitting .343 on the season. This is his 12th start and 14th game overall. That's flipped foul towards the Rutgers-Newark third base dugout. Wagner, one of 3 true freshmen on this year's team, as the coaching staff, which came on board late last May and early into the summer, filled most of the roster, as that's fouled into the screen, of course, with a lot of transfers due to the late timing of their arrival and taking over the program. You would anticipate that next year there's going to be a great deal of newcomers coming in there straight out of high school. The 1-2 pitch. That's going to be floated into left center field for a base hit. NJCU with its first base runner of the game, and Matt Wagner, his batting average now up over .350 on the year. That's his 13th hit. And he gives the Gothic Knights a leadoff runner.
Third baseman, number 19, Brian Bastillo.
That brings up Brian Bastillo, his average continuing to elevate, now hitting .294 after struggling early in the year. He's got 10 hits and 34 at-bats, including 3 doubles on the season. In the air, foul to our right. If you're watching this game at home, lots of seats available here at Riverfront Stadium. Sit anywhere you want, which ironically is the motto for the New York Mets ticket sales office this year. Wagner goes about 20 feet off first base with his lead, as that's ball 1 to Bastillo. Wagner had 1 steal in the Drew game. He's now 2 for 2 on the year. There goes Wagner. That's fouled off of the base in front of the basing in front of the NJCU dugout. Hit the concrete and ricocheted into right field. NJCU as a team has 31 stolen bases this year in 42 opportunities, but you've got to keep in mind that some of those caught stealings are intentional caught stealings with runners at third base on a delayed steal. That is inside and high. So it's 2-2 to Brian Bastillo, junior co-captain from Jersey City, the lone returning starter in the lineup this year. And that's hit in the air on a line drive to right field. Falls in front of the right fielder, Napolitano, advancing Wagner to second base. And the Gothic Knights, with nobody out here in the top of the third inning, have runners at first and second.
Position, the second baseman, number 21, Juan Cruz.
So Bastillo now hitting over 300 on the year, and Juan Cruz, who's been up and down this year at the plate, the transfer freshman in the number 9 position today in the batting order, hitting .214 on the year. As Cruz is his 12th start, 18th game. He's played in every game so far. 9 hits and 42 at-bats with 6 RBIs, and he has an RBI opportunity here with Wagner at second base. Van Vliet looks at Wagner, throws to the plate, showing bunt was Cruz. Throw back to second base, and Wagner in safely. The throw by Palladino, not in time. But it is strike one to Cruz, going for the sacrifice. Gothic Knights have been very successful using small ball tactics this year. Big change from last year when NJCU waited for the big hit, which did not always come. Knights went 10-28 a year ago. That's fouled off by Cruz. And you would figure he will not be bunting here. Now 0-2. 10-28 the Knights were a year ago. They're already 8 wins in the bank this year. And we're not even halfway through the schedule. Single season record for wins is 19, but you would imagine with New Jersey Athletic Conference play coming up, it's going to be difficult to challenge that. Regardless, it's been a fun team to watch so far this year in all aspects of the game. The pitch by Van Vliet, and that's fouled off to our right, and ricochets off a seat. O2 pitch by Van Vliet. As swing and a miss, Cruz goes down. And that's one away.
Now batting number 28, Michael Patterson.
So Cruz, the third strikeout victim of the game. Now 46 strikeouts in 42 innings of work this year for Van Vliet versus just 12 walks. And that will bring up the center fielder Michael Patterson, hitting .311. He flew out to right field. He shows bunt, and it trickles foul. Michael Patterson, the junior out of Piscataway, New Jersey, biology major who hopes to become an orthopedic doctor. Transferred to NJCU from Montclair State, where he did not play. I see his parents, Bob and Karen, in the seats behind the first base dugout. In the dirt, gets through the legs of Palladino, and everyone will advance on the wild pitch. So Bastillo goes to second. Wagner now at third base, and you would imagine Patterson will be swinging away now. Patterson with 9 RBIs on the year. He led the team for much of the Florida trip before getting caught once returning north. That's off the plate. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Top of the third inning here in Newark, New Jersey at Bears and Eagles Riverfront Stadium, home of the Newark Bears
and also NJCU and Rutgers-Newark baseball. 2-1 pitch, and that is hit on the ground. It could be 2, and it is. It was not hitting the ground. It was actually a line drive. I got fooled there, as it was right at the feet of the first baseman, Troy Osi, who threw on to second base. And the inning comes to a close.
For NJCU in the third inning.
And what a way for that rally to end.
Runs, 2 hits.
So,
One man left.
in the top of the third for the Gothic Knights, no runs, 2 hits,
Newark 0.
1 left on, and the third inning comes to a close, still scoreless in Game 1.
Number 14, the shortstop, Kevin Ola.
So back here for the bottom of the third inning, and it'll be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Ola, Nasty, which is just a great baseball name, and McCluskey due up, and the shortstop Ola hitting 163 to looked at strike 1, and now swings and misses at the curveball from Maldonado. And it's 0-2. Ola is a sophomore from Middlesex, New Jersey, 5'11", 175 pounds. That's off the plate. Tim Camp, the sports information director and longtime veteran of New Jersey athletics, is doing public address here today at Riverfront. Did not know there was a Middlesex, New Jersey, and ironically, it's in Middlesex County. Who knew? Bounces in the dirt at the feet of Ola. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And swing and a miss. Slider there from Maldonado gets him. One of 4 pitches Maldonado has in his arsenal. As the first strikeout of the game by Nelson Maldonado, the Gothic Knights senior ace, who, among his notable wins last year, helped NJCU sweep a season series from Montclair State for the first time ever. First pitch to Nasty is off the mound and caroms into center field up the middle for a base hit. So at a first pitch fastball, and Nasty capitalizes. That will bring up the left fielder, McCluskey. And this is interesting here because Jason McCluskey hits in the 9-hole for Rutgers-Newark, but he has the highest batting average on the team at .440. So this is a interesting move by head coach Mark Rizzi, as sacrifice bunt attempt is fouled off. McCluskey's hitting .440 coming into action. And then Chris Ballister, who's a leadoff hitter, who obviously would follow McCluskey, is the next highest hitter on the team at .404. So huge discrepancy there in batting average, and you don't get as many opportunities to hit when you're in the bottom of the lineup. However, if you're trying to score runs, it could be a very productive move, arranging a lineup like that, and just sacrificing the 7 and 8 hitters who are both hitting below 200. That's ball 1 to McCluskey. McCluskey in the year has got 11 hits and 25 at-bats, 5 RBIs with a
monstrous .517 on base percentage. We're back to first base, and Nasty has a uniform that is now sort of nasty. One and one to McCluskey. Throw back to first. Closer play this time, but Mark Lehman, the field umpire, signifies that Nasty is safe. Of course, it's April Fool's Day, April 1st, 2012. This time Nasty's back in standing. Every year there's got to be something stupid I do, and last year my sister and I convinced our mother that our brother got arrested. Even had a voicemail. And that is dropped by Bolano, and on to second base is Nasty with a pass ball. And last year we had convinced our mother for probably about 18 hours that our brother was indeed locked up. This year I resigned my position at NJCU to take the PR job with the New Orleans Saints to deal with the bounty scandal. That practical joke. Not nearly as successful. Curveball off the plate by Maldonado, and it's 3-1. For one thing, my wife would never agree to move to Louisiana. The 3-1 pitch to McCluskey, now with a runner in scoring position with Nasty at second base. It's called strike fastball, and it's 3-2 with Ballister on deck. One out here in the bottom of the third inning, game one between the Knights and the Scarlet Raiders, who are NJAC rivals in pretty much every sport. It's become a very good rivalry. That ball's in the dirt, but Mike Patterson backs it up nicely. A clean throw by Maldonado to Martucci, and Nasty probably would have been out, as the throw did beat his slide back to the bag. Nasty brushing off the wet clay from his hands. And Maldonado will have to wait as McCluskey calls time. Ground ball towards short. Martucci will have no throw. It's an infield single by McCluskey. He was deep in the hole there, actually had a double clutch. And McCluskey will capitalize with the infield single, and with one out, there's runners at first and second.
Now batting number 15, Chris Ballister.
Nasty was wise there, not trying to advance to third. That would have been the only play that Martucci would have had. Back to the top of the lineup, and Chris Ballister, the center fielder, hitting .397. Hit the ball well in the first inning, lined out to Angel Rivera, who made a tremendous diving catch in left field. And curveball is low. Ballister with 10 RBIs. That's matched for second on the club with Tim Miller. Jimmy Napolitano is the team leader with a dozen. Double play here would be great for Maldonado. Knights had one in the second inning. That's fouled off into the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ballister has not hit into a double play this year. And as a team, the Raiders have hit to just 10 now, including the one in the second inning. Pitch by Maldonado. That's fouled off onto Division Street. And it's 1-2. If Ballister reaches Troy Easy, the first baseman, number 2 hitter, is on deck. One-two offering by Maldonado. And that's a called strike 3 at the knees, and Ballister a little confused about that one, but it's strike 3. Second strikeout by Maldonado, and there's now 2 away.
Now batting number 28, Vin Troisi.
And that will bring up the first baseman, Troisi, who grounded out to second base in the first inning. Second strikeout of the game by Maldonado, who on the season, as that's hit off the end of the bat foul. Now has 21 strikeouts, Maldonado does. Throw back to second base, and Nasty's in safely. Now with 21 strikeouts on the year, Maldonado continues to climb the all-time strikeout leaders chart. We'll take a look in a moment to see where he stands. And that's chopped foul as Weinstein went to one knee, but that goes down the right field line, and Matthew Wagner will have to play it back in as it caroms off the cement in front of the right field stands. So no balls, 2 strikes. Maldonado, after allowing a pair of hits, strike away from getting out of a jam here. 3 hits today for the Raiders, 2 for the Gothic Knights. Same pitch as Maldonado threw to Ballister, this time a little too far inside to get the call from home plate umpire James Grillo. So 1-2 to Maldonado. Nasty at second, McCluskey at first. They both singled. Pitch by Maldonado. Foul tip. And Troisi remains alive. Pitch by Maldonado. Hit in the air. Foul. Left to third base. Brian Basilio there makes the catch. And inning comes to an end as he flips it back to the mound. And NJCU is able to get out of trouble here in the bottom of the third inning, just as the Scarlet Raiders did, with NJCU threatening in the top of the inning.
At the end of 3 innings, still no score.
So in the third inning for the Scarlet Raiders, no runs, 2 hits, a pair of runners left on base. We head to the 4th inning in Game 1 of our NJAC doubleheader. Scoreless. Top of the 4th inning here, and Newark, New Jersey, and Andrew Rivera will lead off for the Knights. And we should note that that last strikeout by Maldonado was historic. It's his 126 as Rivera fouls it away. He now is third in school history with 126 career strikeouts, passing Alberto Cajidi, who pitched in 1974 and 1975 before being drafted by the Cleveland Indians. So pretty good company by Maldonado. And that's inside. He is now 6 strikeouts shy of second place all time. The record is 196 and is unreachable. That's a called strike to Rivera. It's 1-2. Maldonado today making his 26th career start. That's 5th in school history and his 38th appearance. Now 10th all time. So it's a 2-2 count coming here to Rivera, leading off for the Gothic Knights in the 4th inning of a scoreless game. Pitch by Van Vliet. Swing and a miss. And Rivera goes down on strikes. 4th strikeout by Van Vliet. And that will bring up the shortstop, Michael Martucci. Foul ball off the umpire. Takes off the mask and making sure it's still there. Jerry Smith, head coach for the Gothic Knights, the former standout high school coach, state championship winning coach at JFK Island in his first year at NJCU, has a conversation with Mark Tucci, transferred from St. Peter's College, where Tim Camp to my left used to be in charge, and that's hit in the air center field. Retreating is Ballister, who initially thought that ball was going to be a little more shallow than it ended up being, but he retreats in time for the line out catch, and there's 2 away for Alex Weinstein, hitting .259. Weinstein leads the conference in sacrifice flies and actually ranks in the top 10 in the country, but clearly not an RBI opportunity. Is 2 up and 2 down for the Knights here in the 4th. That's fouled off to our right and out of play. Modest crowd of about 100 watching today's game. That's inside the Weinstein, 1-1. Currently 55 degrees. Curveball's off the plate. Taking a look at the forecast here. It's supposed to be cloudy until about 4, and then a 40% chance of rain at 4 o'clock. Swing and a miss! As Weinstein beat by the high hard one. And it's 2-2. The rain forecast really picks up as you get closer to 6 at 50% and then 70% in the evening. That's fouled off to the screen, and it remains 2-2. Van Vliet has now thrown 55 pitches, 42 strikes, 13 balls. That's a simply awesome ratio. 2-2 offering. Swing and a miss. And Palladino will throw down the first to complete the 2-3. And the Gothic Knights go in order for the 3rd time today. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning, scoreless between the Knights and the Raiders. Bottom of the fourth inning here in Newark. Game 1, no score between the Knights and the Raiders, and it'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Ciara Miller and Napolitano, to face Nelson Maldonado. And at first pitch, strike 1. Ciara Miller now hitting .231 in the year. That's popped up, but it's going to go foul. Orlando Bolano gave it a look, and it's out of play. Ciara Miller, in his only at-bat in the first inning, grounded at the third on a play where Brian Bastillo had to leap and snow cone the ball before making a great throw to first. No balls and 2 strikes to Ciara Miller. Foul ball, remains 0-2. Senior, 5'11", 215-pounder from Bloomfield, New Jersey. Bloomfield High School. Popped, foul, Bolano giving chase, and he makes the running catch. Fielding his position well for a first-time Gothic Knight catcher. Of course, that is a ball that in Jersey City would be uncatchable, as the backstop would eliminate any chance of making that catch. I dream of the day that the backstop can actually be removed and back everything up and make everything more spacious. With 1 away, that will bring up the third baseman, Tim Miller. First pitch, ground ball to Martucci. Throw on the first, plenty of time, 2 away. So 2 up, 2 down. That brings up the right fielder, Napolitano.
Now batting number 3, Jimmy Napolitano.
And the right fielder for the Raiders, responsible for the first of their 3 hits today before he was retired on a 6-4-3 double play in the second inning. First pitch is in the dirt. Napolitano, 5'8", 180-pound sophomore from Livingston, New Jersey. Curveball belt high. Tricky pitch by Maldonado, and it's 1-1. That's how you get to 126 strikeouts for your career, especially when you didn't become a predominant starter until late in your sophomore campaign. Home plate umpire James Grillo had a couple words for the Rutgers-Newark dugout. 1-1. Hit in the air, deep right field. Wagner giving chase, and he makes the catch on the warning track. Wagner looked for a second like that ball was going to be over his head, somehow maintained enough pace on a run in right field and was able to reach out and make the catch as he got to the warning track. About a 360-foot fly out there by Napolitano, and the inning does indeed come to an end on the long fly ball. Second nice play of this game made by Matt Wagner in right field. 4th inning for the Scarlet Raiders. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. We head to the 5th inning of a scoreless NJAC opener. Top of the fifth inning, and sophomore designated hitter Rob Roman at the plate. Curveball by Van Vliet is a strike one to Roman, who grounded out 3-1 in the second inning, now hitting .321 on the year. Sophomore from Hoboken, New Jersey. Swing and a miss. Another curveball, different location there by Van Vliet. Nice pitch. And it's 0-2. Chopper off the end of the bat. And, oh, it hit the lip of the grass and went foul. At the very last second, wise decision there by Tim Miller, the third baseman. He did not have play on Roman. Roman does run well. And that ball just kind of crawled along the infield grass, and at the very last minute, like my golf shot, hooked right, or hooked left. There's a lot of things I'm good at in life. Golf, not one of them. The 0-2 pitch, that is lined foul into the right field stand concourse. Tim Camp, when we going out on the golf course together? You don't play, but driving the cart. On the ground, Miller will have an easy play here to Roman, and actually threw it into the base path, and first baseman Vincent Troiosi actually had to step into the oncoming runner, but long before Roman got there and one away. That will bring up the catcher Bolano, who struck out swinging to end the second inning, and his batting average now below 200 in the year at 192. First pitch by Van Vliet is a strike. That's fouled off right at us, and it's 0-2. On the ground, dug out by Nassi, and the third of first retires Bolano. 2 away. That brings up the right fielder Matt Wagner, whose average is up to 361 after a leadoff single in the third inning.
Matthew Wagner.
Curveball to Wagner, inside and high. That's fouled into the door that actually leads to the field right behind home plate. Fouled off to our right, and it's 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. Van Vliet. Pitch to Wagner. That's high. Two-two pitch. Curveball is inside as Wagner had to hop back in the batter's box, and the count is full to the Gothic Knight rookie from Colonia, New Jersey. Popped. Straight up. Nassi calls off everyone in the infield, including the first baseman, Troiosi. And the Gothic Knights again go in order, 1, 2, 3.
No one left on base. Halfway through, the score remains 0-0.
So no runs, no hits, nobody left on. The only inning today the Gothic Knights have not gone in order was the third when they had both their hits in this contest. We head to the bottom of the fifth. Still no score between the Knights and the Raiders. Great one to open the NJAC slate of games. Back here for the bottom of the fifth inning, and the Gothic Knights will face Anthony Palladino, the Scarlet Raider catcher. Back-to-back curveballs. First one was outside. This one called strike on the corner. Palladino hitting .323, but he grounded into a inning-ending double play in the second inning. That's inside. They're asking if there's a check swing, and Mark Lima, the field umpire, says there was not. So it's 2 balls and a strike. Slow roller, Martucci with the backhand. The throw in the dirt, and it's going to be an error on Martucci. Martucci had enough time to make a clean throw. He rushed it. And the first error of the game goes against the Gothic Knights.
Now batting number 14, Kevin Ola.
A clean throw there by Martucci would have had Palladino by plenty. Instead, that brings up the shortstop, Ola, who struck out swinging in the third inning. And for the Gothic Knights, as we take a look at the defensive stats for the year, that is now error number 10 on Martucci, and most of them are throwing errors. Surprising, considering he was a pitcher at St. Peter's. Next highest player on the team with errors is Weinstein, the first baseman, with 6. NJCU has committed 39 in 18 games, 36 by the opposition. And the first pitch, a strike to Ola, as he goes over to have a conversation with Mark Rizzi. Actually, is Mark Rizzi coaching first today, or coaching third? It's Lou Paulton, the former Rutgers-Newark great assistant coach, graduate intern, coaching third. Mark Rizzi has graduated to the point where he gets to stay in the dugout like a major league manager. We're back to first, and diving safely is Palladino. Rizzi, of course, who actually had my job as SID at New Jersey City University back in the 80s. As inside, as Ola should bunt. One ball and one strike. We are in the bottom of the fifth inning in game one. No score between the Knights and the Scarlet Raiders. That's high, and it's 2-1 as we bring you Gothic Knight baseball. At least game one today. Hopefully game two if Mother Nature cooperates. Maldonado's thrown 58 pitches, 43 for strikes. Dropping down the bunt. Bolano, the throw to first is in time. The sacrifice effective. 2-3. Palladino moves over to second base. So a 2-3 sack bunt. And now with one out, a runner in scoring position for the second baseman, Andrew Nasty.
Now batting number 1, Andrew Nasty.
Nasty, one of a handful of Hudson County products on this Rutgers-Newark squad. He's from Weehawken, New Jersey. He's a freshman, 5'10", 165-pounder.
It's in the dirt. Bolano blocks in front of him, and Palladino will not have an opportunity to move on. According to the roster, he's a freshman. Been told he's a junior academically. Now, Donato, the pitch is bounced well in front of the plate. Bolano blocks it with the top of his chest protector, and he goes out to have a conversation with Maldonado, who was well short of the plate on that one. Well, interesting is NJCU this year, with more of a Middlesex County flair in its roster assembly. You see more and more players from Hudson County now going to some of the other schools in North Jersey. Although the Knights do still have about a dozen players from Hudson County on the roster. That is a strike. Eight players from Middlesex on the NJCU team this year. Ground ball. Cruz at second base will throw on for the second out, but Palladino moves to third. So with two outs, we head to the bottom of the batting order here. And McCluskey, who had a single in the third inning, and his average now climbing to 462, will have an RBI opportunity here with Palladino 90 feet away. No score here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Ira Thor with you on the Green and Gold Network as we bring you Gothic Knight Road Baseball today. Swing and a miss at the changeup. That's off the end of the bat and foul, and Brian Steele will come pick it up. We say hello to Peter Vincent, site supervisor for the Gothic Knights, watching today's game in Bayonne. Oh-2 pitch here to McCluskey. Just off the plate. That's a pitch the Gothic Knight dugout wanted. And it's 1-2. Overcast day here in Newark. Field's in pretty good shape considering the amount of rain we got yesterday. Grounds crew here at Riverfront Stadium did a very nice job getting this field ready. Fastball just off the plate, and the count even at 2-2. Gothic Knights will return to non-conference action on Tuesday when they head to Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania to take on King's College. Floater towards center field. Cruz out, and he makes the catch! Juan Cruz diving into center field, and he prevents Palladino from scoring at what would have been an RBI single by McCluskey, but instead the Gothic Knights again use defense to get out of a jam and prevent Rutgers-Newark from taking the lead.
One NJCU error, one man left on base. 5 innings complete, no score.
So the leadoff error by Palladino, or by Martucci on Palladino, does not come back to bite the Gothic Knights as an unearned run. And here in the fifth inning, no runs, no hits, one error, one left on. We head to the sixth in a scoreless NJAC opener. Been a great game so far. And if you're a baseball fan, you only hope that you get this kind of quality baseball all year long.
Sixth inning here for the Gothic Knights. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, Bastillo, Cruz, and Patterson, as NJCU attempts to not go in order for a change, and Bastillo fouls that one off and it'll land in front of the seats behind home plate.
NJCU is number 19, Ryan Bastillo.
In the third inning, NJCU had back-to-back singles before the inning ended on a line-out double play, but in the first, second, fourth, and fifth, NJCU went 1, 2, 3 as Van Vliet been mowing down the Gothic Knights. However, his counterpart, Nelson Maldonado, for the Gothic Knights has been equally impressive today. No balls, 2 strikes. Pitch to Brian Bastillo. It's off the plate. 1 and 2. Kyle Van Vliet as that is ball 2, blocked by Palladino. Entered today's contest with a 2.77 ERA, his 7th appearance, all starts. And he's proven that he can go the distance already with 3 complete games in those 6 starts. 2-2 pitch. And as a line drive base hit up the middle by Brian Bastillo. 3rd hit of the game for the Gothic Knights. 2nd for Bastillo, whose average continues to climb. Now over 320 on the year with that hit.
Now batting number 21, Juan Cruz.
Now we'll bring up Juan Cruz, and it's funny how you make a great defensive play in the field and you seem to come up the plate early the next inning, and Cruz with a nice diving catch to prevent Palladino from scoring in a single by McCluskey, and he comes to the plate now hitting .209, and he fouls off the first pitch. He struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. One of 5 strikeout victims so far by Van Vliet, who's now thrown 75 pitches, 58 for strikes, just 17 balls. We're back to first, and Brian Bastillo scampers in, standing. Brian Bastillo back in yet again, and judging by where the fans are sitting today, you would imagine if you're an NJCU parent or fan, you're sitting behind the first base dugout. If you're a Newark fan, you're on the third base side. The Gothic Knight fans have really come out in support today, as chopped towards shortstop. Ola to Nasty, on to first in time for the double play. A 6-4-3 double play, now 2 away here in the top of the 6th. Second double play the Knights have hit into today. And then we're back to the top of the order for the center fielder, Mike Patterson, who's 0 for 2. He hit into one of those double plays.
Number 28, Michael Patterson.
But probably about 60 or so NJCU fans and maybe 30 or so Rutgers-Newark fans here today. So on a wet day, Gothic Knight faithful coming out have been supportive. First pitch to Patterson is all. And that is a base hit as Patterson goes the opposite way into right field. Drops in front of Napolitano for a 2-out single, the 4th hit of the game for NJCU.
Andrew Rivera.
Of course, a lot of teams in action today. The softball team at Kane University in Union today, the start of NJAC play for softball game that was also rained out yesterday. Kane, the defending conference champions. Andrew Rivera now the batter, and the first pitch is high. Men's volleyball team as we speak in New York City taking on Kane University and Sage College in a pair of men's volleyball conference matches. That's a fastball by Van Vliet, it's a strike. Those are both huge matches for NJCU. If they win one, they clinch a conference tournament berth. Throw back to first, and Patterson in safely. Should NJCU upset Kane and beat Sage, the Knights would clinch the 3rd spot in the conference tournament. Now throw back to first. This time Michael Patterson was standing
Jason to the bag, and he's back in standing. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Andrew Rivera. We're here in the top of the 6th inning at Bears and Eagles Riverfront Stadium in Newark, New Jersey. There goes Patterson. Throw to second base, not in time. Michael Patterson with the stolen base. The pitch to Rivera looked like it was a ball. So it should be 2-1 to Rivera, but Michael Patterson very patiently there setting up the stolen base opportunity. His 6th of the year now in 7 opportunities. He has 14 runs scored this year, 2nd on the team to Martucci, and Rivera now with an RBI opportunity looks at ball 3. And should Rivera get on base here with 2 outs, Michael Martucci's on deck. Swing and a miss by Rivera, and the count is full. NJCU is now out-hit Rutgers-Newark 4-3. All 7 hits in this game for these two sides are singles, as it truly has been a great pitchers matchup between these two sides' aces. Anthony Palladino, the Newark catcher, asked for time. He goes out to have a conversation with Van Vliet, and why not? This is a huge pitch in this game. Rivera leads the team with 14 RBIs. Hitting the number 2 spot this year. He's fluctuated between 2 and 5 this year. Swing and a miss. Van Vliet strikeout number 6 is a biggie, as Andrew Rivera goes down and Michael Patterson stranded at second base. 6th inning for the Gothic Knights. No runs, 2 hits. There was 1 left on. We head to the bottom of the 6th. There was no score between the Knights and the Raiders. Bottom of the 6th inning, and the Gothic Knights have made a defensive change, and Kevin DeMoro comes in here to play left field, it looks like.
Batter for Rutgers-Newark, number 15, Chris Ballister.
I'm surprised by that move, especially with the defense that Andrew Rivera plays, but
A defensive change for New Jersey City University.
the center fielder,
Playing left field, number 20, Kevin DeMoro.
and the 2-0 pitch to Ballister is fouled away. So it's 2-1. It'll be the 1, 2, and 3 hitters, Ballister, Troisi, and Sierra Mello. Ballister 0 for 2 today with a strikeout looking in his last plate appearance in the 3rd inning, now hitting .390 in the year. Nice pitch by Maldonado. With the curveball, it's 2-2. Ground ball, Cruz is there from his knees, now up and throw Weinstein a little high, but in time, one away. And that will bring up Troy Easy, who's 0 for 2. He fouled out to third base in his last at bat. Tracy showed bunt, pitch was low. No runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Knights. That's ball 2. No runs, 3 hits, and no errors for the Scarlet Raiders. First game of the NJCU schedule, 18-game slate for either side. As a called strike, 2 balls and a strike. Troy Easy, a sophomore left-handed hitter from Hackensack, New Jersey, fouls that one away. 6'1", 180 pounds. Two-two pitch. That's high. It's 3-2. So full count here to Troy Easy. 1 out, bottom of the 6th. Pitch by Maldonado. And that is ball 4. First walk of the game allowed.
Now batting for the Scarlet Raiders, number 6, Mike Ciaramella.
By either pitcher. And I'll bring up the designated hitcher, Ciaramella, who is 0 for 2. He grounded out to third base and fouled out to catcher. So with 1 out, Ciaramella, senior, try to get the Raiders going. And the first pitch hit in the air, center field. Patterson has it read off the bat and makes the catch for out number 2. So with 2 gone, that brings up the cleanup hitter, Tim Miller, the third baseman, who is 0 for 2. He lined out in the 2nd inning to right field where Matt Wagner robbed him of a single. And he grounded out to shortstop. Miller, 6 foot, 185-pound senior from Mendham, New Jersey in Morris County. Throws right, but he hits left-handed. And first pitch to Miller is ball 1. Both pitchers have been very effective with their pitch counts. Maldonado only 81 pitches here as we bat with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. As a fastball. More of a changeup than anything. It's 1-1. That was all speed from Maldonado for sure. Troy Easy with the late lead at first. Fouled off by Miller. And Maldonado a strike away from getting out of yet another inning. One-two pitch by Maldonado. In the dirt, the throw by Bolano is in time because it appeared as if Troy Easy overslid the bag and allowing Martucci on the 2nd effort to put the tag down. And the inning comes to a close and Miller is left at the plate.
New Jersey City, nothing. Rutgers-Newark, nothing.
So in the 6th inning, no runs, no hits, and nobody left on. Tracy thrown out 2-6. We head to the 7th. There is no score. As bedtime music plays here at Riverfront Stadium, we tell you that these two teams have really put up a lot of runs this year, and today it's been nullified by these two pitchers, Maldonado and Van Vliet. Rutgers-Newark on the year scored 90 runs in their first 16 games of the season.
Number 10, Michael Martucci.
The Gothic Knights have been a little bit better offensively, 98 runs in 17 games, but today, nothing for anyone. First pitch to Michael Martucci, the third hitter in the lineup, will be followed by Weinstein and Roman. And Martucci, as he took ball one in the dirt, 0 for 2 today. He lined out to center. He also struck out looking. Average now at 359. And ball 2 to Martucci. Now you would expect, just based on past precedent, that the batting averages for not just for the Gothic Knights and for Rutgers-Newark, but for all teams in this conference will start going down as you start facing the best pitchers that the teams have. You know, most teams will save their top pitchers, especially for these weekend 9-inning games. And you're going to start seeing averages start to come down just a bit. Martucci, that's fouled off to our right. And a fan in a New York Ranger sweatshirt ducked to get out of the way of that one, then picked up the loose ball. And you know, like to see Ranger fans here in Newark. Check swing by Martucci, and they say he went around. So Martucci strikes out for the second time today.
Now batting number 24, Alex.
7th strikeout, no walks for Van Vliet, who's putting up yet another outstanding performance, but his offense has been shut down on the other side by Maldonado. So that brings up Alex Weinstein, first baseman, now his average at 255, as he's 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a ground out, and he looks at strike one. 90 pitches for Van Vliet, 67 strikes. And that is lined towards left field. It will fall in front of the left fielder McCluskey for a one-out base hit, a single, 5th hit of the game for the Gothic Knights.
Now batting number 11, Rob Roman.
So that will bring up the designated hitter, Rob Roman, a pair of infield groundouts to the pitcher and to the third baseman in this contest. 0 for 2. Weinstein, despite his size, is a legitimate threat to steal for those who have not seen him play this year. Alex Weinstein, 6'2", 225 pounds, out of Clinton, New Jersey. John F. Kennedy Island High School, the only player on the team who played high school baseball for Jerry Smith. He has 4 steals this year, and that's fouled away as Weinstein was going. Weinstein is the other transfer on this year's team from St. Peter's. He did not play as he was redshirt last year by the Peacocks. 1 ball, 1 strike to Rob Roman. Top of the 7th inning in Newark. Scoreless. Throw back to first, and Weinstein in safely. Roman went around.
frustrated with himself there as he half bashes himself in the leg with the bat, knowing that he just swung at ball 2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes, 1 out. Van Vliet deals. Floater towards the middle of the diamond, and the second baseman, Nasty, calls off Olaf for the second out. And with 2 away, that will bring up Bolano. Bolano is 0 for 2, strikeout and a ground out. And his average is declining even more, now at 185. NJCU entered today's game with a 290 team batting average. Opponents hitting 266, which is almost identical to the Raiders' batting average coming in today, hitting 265. Newark opposition hitting 264. After an opening pitch ball, the throw back to first, and Weinstein in dirty. You have a feeling the team that scores first here, the way these pitchers are going, will certainly put themselves in position to win this game, because there's reason to believe both pitchers can go the distance today, especially with the second game coming up. That is ball 2 to Bolano. That's one thing that Bolano has done a nice job of doing this year. He's walked 7 times. That's tied for the team high. As fastball strike right down the middle of the plate. Matt Wagner's the other player with 7 walks this year. 2 balls, 1 strike, pitched by Van Vliet. That is fouled off to her left. And the next pitch will be the 100th thrown today by Van Vliet. Kyle Van Vliet is 4-1 on the year. Here goes Weinstein. Ground ball towards third. Miller will have to go to first, but plenty of time. The throw was off the target there a little bit, but reaching back and making the catch was Troisi, and the inning does come to a close. And Weinstein stranded on base after a 1-out single, the 5th of the game for the Gothic Knights. 7th inning for NJCU. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left on. 7th inning stretch in game 1 in Newark. I'm standing up. You should too. Bottom of the 7th inning, and still no score between the Knights and the Raiders, as Nelson Maldonado will face Tim Miller, who was left at the plate when Troisi was caught stealing to end the 6th. Miller hitting .236. That's hit in the air, down the left field line. It's sailing foul, and Kevin DeMoro had to give way at the last second as he was approaching the tarp, and it actually hit off the base of the tarp, and I think DeMoro actually overran that ball, because if he had hesitated, he might have had a play. It might have necessitated sliding there, but he would have had a play on the ball, and that's a play that had Andrew Rivera been in the game, you have to believe he would have made. But his bat has gone cold ever since the big hit against St. Joe's. This time fouled away, and this is well out of play into the picnic area down the left field line. So 0-2, just 86 pitches for Maldonado here as the Raiders bat in the bottom of the 7th inning. Ground ball to short. Martucci can't handle it, and it's his second error of the game, 11th of the season. And that's a leadoff runner for the Scarlet Raiders. And with the 5 and 6 hitters, Napolitano and Palladino, coming up, you have to wonder if this will be the inning where the Rutgers-Newark does capitalize on that error. Martucci is the everyday shortstop for NJCU, but he's got to be able to make those plays. That is a routine play that a shortstop in the New Jersey Athletic Conference has to make every time. So Napolitano comes to the plate. He is 1 for 2 today with a single and a fly out to right. That's high. Bolano had to leap up to make that catch. 1 ball and no strikes. And Miller on the year is not stolen a base. The Raiders have really not run very much. Just 11 steals in 14 attempts. Swing and a miss there. And that includes today's numbers. Actually, I stand corrected. I counted Tracy as a stolen base in my stats here. They're actually 10 for 13 on the year. Hit in the air, left center field, and that is going to fall for an extra base hit and roll all the way to the wall, and the error is going to come back to bite the Knights. Napolitano's waving Miller around third. The throw to the plate is offline, and Bolano unable to make the tag in time, and it is a RBI no-out double by Napolitano, and the Rutgers-Newark Scarlet Raiders take a 1-0 lead. An unearned run comes back to bite the Knights.
Now batting number 21, Anthony Palladino.
So with Rutgers-Newark scoring first, we'll have a visit here from NJCU pitching coach Nick Cesar, the former all-conference standout for Kane University. Try to calm down Maldonado. That is just the 4th hit allowed by Nelson Maldonado and the first extra base hit of the game for either team. No runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for the Gothic Knights, 1 run, 4 hits, and no errors for the Raiders. The second of the 2 Gothic Knight errors, and both today committed by the shortstop Martucci. Right now is the difference in this contest. But nobody out and a runner at second base after Napolitano doubled to the gap. Palladino now with a chance to widen this lead. He's hitting .313, hitting 6th in the lineup. The throw back to second, and Napolitano just beat the throw. Palladino 0 for 2, grounded into a double play. He also reached on the first of the 2 errors. Called strike. Once again, they test Napolitano, but he's back in. Castillo playing even with the bag at third. Weinstein playing in, expecting a sacrifice bunt here. And that's what is being shown by Palladino. And he asked for time. Pitch to Palladino, swinging away, and that's fouled out down the right field line. And it's 0-2. We are in the bottom of the 7th inning here in Newark, New Jersey. Ira Thor with you on the Green and Gold Network. Margie Alfano, former women's soccer player for the Gothic Knights, on camera for us in the next room. Swing and a miss. Bolano's going to have to make the put out at first base. He does 2-3, so 1 away. Third strikeout of the game for Nelson Maldonado, his 127th of his career.
Now batting number 14, Kevin Ola.
So with 1 out now, that will bring up Ola, the shortstop, who is 0 for 2. Actually, he's 0 for 1 because the ground out of the 5th inning is credited officially as a sacrifice. So he's 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a sacrifice hit, hitting 159. And first pitch by Maldonado, curveball. It's thrown over the head of Maldonado. Not a good throw by Bolano. The throw to third. Gets by Bastillo, but the Knights get a huge break there as it caroms off of the padding and right back to Brian Bastillo. Orlando Bolano catching today for the first time ever, threw the ball back to Maldonado, but it was over his head, off of his glove. And now Ola with a chance for a sacrifice fly. And it hit Ola right in the keister.
Now batting number 1, Andrew Nasty.
Now runners on the corners, and that will bring up the second baseman, Andrew Nasty, who is 1 for 2 today. Nasty swings and fouls the first one off, a driller behind the plate. Now 96 pitches by Nelson Maldonado. Would love a double play ball right here. He and Van Vliet have been even on the pitch count almost all day. Van Vliet's thrown 100. In the dirt, blocked by Bolano. Keeps in front of him and eliminates any chance for Ola to advance to second base. Three errors in this game for NJCU. 2 have come in this inning. An inning that should have ended with no outs. And has dropped into right center field for an RBI single by Nasty. Ola goes to third, and Rutgers-Newark on the RBI single that scores Napolitano has taken a 2-0 lead.
Now batting number 20, Jason McCluskey.
Now we'll bring up the left fielder McCluskey. Now the run by Napolitano is earned, although he did advance in the air. With Ola advancing 2 bases from first to third, you can safely assume that Napolitano would have scored from second. So the second of the 2 runs is earned. McCluskey fouls off the first pitch. He is 1 for 2 today. Lined out to Juan Cruz to end the 5th inning when he made a diving catch in center field. 100th pitch here by Maldonado won't be thrown as he steps off and fakes a throw to third base. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Rutgers-Newark. No runs, 5 hits, 3 costly errors for the Knights. Defense certainly will win games in the end, Jack. That is high. So the first 100 pitches for Maldonado, 70 for strikes. Still an excellent ratio, but he trails on the scoreboard 2-0, and you have a feeling that Van Vliet, at the rate he's going, is not going to be giving up 2 runs today. That's fouled off as Nasty took off. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ballister, the leadoff batter in today's lineup, standing on deck. One ball, 2 strikes. Runners on the corners. Pitch by Maldonado off the plate. Throw back to first, and Nasty is in safely. Maldonado in his last start, actually 8 days ago, last Saturday against St. Joe's of Maine, the 27th ranked Monks, he only allowed 2 earned runs but lost that game. Stolen base by Nasty. Bolano couldn't glove the ball, but Nasty got such a nice jump there that he probably was going to beat any throw by Bolano anyway. It's ball 3. But now with 1 out, the double play is taken out of the equation. So 3-2. Runners second and third. 2 runs home for Newark. Ground ball back to Maldonado. The throw to the plate is going to be a rundown. A 1-2-5-1. So fielder's choice. Nasty goes to third. And a 1-2-5-1. Just a routine play at the plate there. But Maldonado, who was run into there by Ola, was down on a knee for a moment. Looked like he's shaken up. And he's going to walk this off. Last thing Knights can possibly afford right now this year is to have another pitcher hurt. Delio Catino suffered a season-ending elbow injury in Florida, the number 2 starter on the team, who was leading the conference in strikeouts per 9 innings. And now head coach Jerry Smith out to check on his senior ace. They're going to give Maldonado a couple warm-up tosses here as home plate umpire James Grillo out to monitor this action. Maldonado is 6'1", 175 pounds, out of St. Mary's High School in Jersey City. One of 2 pitchers on the staff majoring in mathematics. And it's funny I say that because last year when Nelly got to his 100th career strikeout, he knew before I did.
Now batting number 15, Chris Ballister.
So after the force at the plate, which required a little extra running there, a 1-2-5-1 put out if you're scoring at home. And I'll bring up Ballister, who is 0 for 3. He lined out to left field, struck out looking, and grounded out to second base. And he swings and misses at the fastball from Maldonado. Hit in the air. Straight away center field. Now drifting over to the left center field gap is Michael Patterson, and he makes the catch. And the inning does come to a close, but not before Rutgers-Newark has broken this scoreless game open with a pair of runs, 2 hits, aided by 2 Gothic Knight errors. There were 2 left on base. And we head to the 8th inning with the Scarlet Raiders leading by a 2-0 count. So we head to the top of the 8th inning. The Gothic Knights with some work to do, trailing 2-0 with 6 outs to go, and should be an easy task as they're facing right now arguably the best pitcher in the NJAC. Say that tongue-in-cheek, of course, as Matthew Wagner comes to the plate against Van Vliet, who's thrown 74% of his pitches for strikes so far, and he's given up 5 singles, but he's just been really, really impressive out there. First pitch was a strike. Pitch to Wagner is in dirt, and the count even at 1-1. Wagner hitting .351 on the year. He is 1 for 2 today. 7, 8, and 9 hitters do it for the Knights. That's in the dirt. Blocked by Palladino, 2-1. Gothic Knight volleyball lost to Kane 25-19, 25-23, 28-26 in the first match today. So they can be no higher than the 4th seed in the conference tournament. And that's low. It's 3-1. And should NJCU lose the next match against Sage, they would have to beat Mount St. Vincent on Tuesday to clinch a conference tournament berth. Hat in the air to right field. Coming over is Napolitano, and who makes the easy catch about 10 feet from the right field line. And that will bring up Brian Bastille, been NJCU's best offensive player today. He's 2 for 2. And I did a little rough math. His last hit in the 6th inning said his average is above 320 now, but in a short season, averages can climb and fall like the stock market, and he's hitting now .333. Ground ball on the first pitch to Nasty. It'll be an easy second out. So much for that. And that will bring up Juan Cruz. Cruz has been tremendous with his glove today, but not so much at the plate. He struck out swinging in the 3rd inning, and he grounded into a 6-4-3 double play in the 6th, hitting .205 now. And a curveball by Van Vliet is just inside. Cruz pops that one up. It's going to drift foul. First baseman Troisi gave it a look. The 1-1. Juan Cruz, the freshman utility player from Jersey City, New Jersey, and St. Mary's Jersey City High School. Ground ball over the head of the pitcher. Will the shortstop Ola have enough time? He does. And the inning comes to a close, and the Gothic Knights go down 1-2-3. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on. We head to the bottom of the eighth inning. Tracy, Sierra Mello, and Miller, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, due up for Rutgers-Newark, leading 2-0. Bottom of the eighth inning, and Troisi leading off here.
Leading off for Rutgers-Newark, number 28, Vin Troisi.
Hitting .300 on the year. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. First pitch was a ball, but this time change up by Maldonado. Count now even at 1-1. Inside is 2-1. Rutgers-Newark leading 2-0 here in the bottom of the eighth inning. Trying to add a little insurance before Kyle Van Vliet goes out to try to throw his 4th complete game of the year. As a fastball called strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. NJCU has not been shut out this year. As a line drive base hit to right field, Matt Wagner will play back into Juan Cruz.
Now batting number 6, Mike Ciaramello.
And with nobody out and a runner at first, that will bring up the DH, Michael Ciaramello, who's 0 for 3 today. Ground out to third, a foul out to the catcher, and a fly out to center to end the 6th inning. And that's going to be it for Nelson Maldonado, as the Gothic Knights will make a pitching change and a complete defensive realignment, as Kevin DeMauro, the Gothic Knight closer, will come in from left field. Rob Roman will come into the game to play second base to take the DH out of the equation. And I think Juan Cruz may actually go in and play left field, and if he does, that will be the 6th position he's played this year. He has played everywhere except catch, shortstop, and I believe center field, if he is indeed the new left fielder. To wait and see, as Rob Roman is soft tossing with Cruz. He could also move to third. That's a possibility as well. Just speculating at this point, as we haven't seen a new left fielder.
Pitching for New Jersey City. Moving to the mound from left field, number 20, Kevin DeMauro.
Looks like Cruz will be our left fielder. Well, he's already pitched this year. Might as well just let him catch and play center and short and give him the defensive cycle.
Moving from second base to left field, number 21, Juan Cruz.
Rob Roman now the new second baseman for the Knights. The DH is no longer in use. Juan Cruz, left fielder, and Kevin DeMauro with a runner at first leads the New Jersey Athletic Conference in ERA. This is his 8th appearance. He has thrown 9.2 innings. He's allowed 4 unearned runs, just 8 hits, has an opposing batting average of .235, 8 strikeouts versus 3 walks, and he's 1-0 with 1 save. One of the top young pitchers in the NJAC. But he's behind now 2-0 to Ciaramella. Hit in the air, deep center field. Patterson giving chase on the run. He will make the catch. So Ciaramella gave that ball a ride, but well played by Patterson. That will bring up the third baseman, Tim Miller. Cleanup hitter is not having cleanup numbers right now, hitting just .232. He's 0 for 3 today, a line out, ground out to short, and he reached on an error. But he has 10 RBIs and a .339 on base percentage. First pitch is a ball. DeMauro move the ball around the strike zone quite a bit. That is low and in the dirt, and it's 2-0 for the second consecutive batter that DeMauro has faced. Give you the final line on Maldonado. As soon as Troisi is retired. That's line down the right field line, and it is a foul ball. We can't see from this vantage point as the right field bleachers kind of jut out and block probably the final 40 or 50 feet of the right field corner from our view here behind home plate. But home plate umpire James Grilla was right on that one and signified that ball was indeed foul. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Miller. The Raiders have hit a couple pitches by DeMauro really well here so far, but so far no damage done. 2-1 pitch. That's fouled off into the third base side seating, and the count is now even at 2-2. Napolitano is the biggest hit in this game. The RBI double in the 7th inning is the on-deck hitter. Miller, who reached on that error in the 7th inning, did come around and score the only run that matters right now, as it's a 2-0 lead. There goes Troisi. Bolano will not make the throw. And the count is full. And once again, stolen base by Rutgers-Newark's infielders is taking the double play out of the equation. So 3-2 here to Miller. Runner at second base, 1 out. Bottom of the 8th inning, Newark leads 2-0. And that is line. Diving is Roman, but gets by him for a base hit. Wagner quickly fields it, fires into Alex Weinstein, the cutoff man. And Troisi will stay at third, but there's runners at the corners.
Batting number 3, Jimmy Napolitano.
And with 1 out, that will bring up Napolitano, who we mentioned a moment ago. And a run scored here can pretty much cement this win for Rutgers-Newark and Van Vliet.
And a curveball by DeMauro is a strike. That's off the plate. Bolano gloves it to prevent any possibility of Tracy's from scoring. Kyle Van Vliet was the New Jersey Athletic Conference and the ECAC and the New Jersey Collegiate Baseball Association Pitcher of the Week back on March 12th. That's low. It's 2-1. He struck out 12 in a 2-0 6-hit shutout win in California over then 21st ranked Chapman University. He has a 2-0 lead today as well, trying for his second shutout of the year. That is ball 3. Actually, what was significant about that win is with the shutout, Van Vliet became the first pitcher ever to beat Chapman star Brian Raw, who was 24-0 prior to that. It's a wild pitch. And scoring with the third run of the game is Troisi. And it was a wild pitch on ball 4. Miller goes to second base. Troisi scores. And it is now 3-0 Rutgers-Newark. And that will bring up the catcher, Palladino, 0 for 3, struck out swinging in the 7th inning. So the line is now finished on Maldonado. 7 innings, 3 runs allowed, 2 were earned, 6 hits, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk through 111 pitches, 8 flyouts, 8 groundouts, faced 29 batters. Another ball in the dirt. This time Bolano was able to block enough of it, and Miller went halfway and stopped. But DeMauro's perfect ERA in jeopardy now with runners at first and second. Obviously that run was charged to Maldonado. Time granted to Palladino. NJCU is 0-6 this year when trailing after 8 innings. DeMauro steps off. And this mental battle goes back and forth. That's low. The Knights have scored just 4 runs in the 9th inning this year. They would need at least 3 to keep this game going. More depending on what happens here against Palladino. And that is low for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Napolitano walked. He's at first base. Miller singled. He's at second. Troisi led off with a single. He has already scored on a wild pitch. It is 3-0 Rutgers-Newark here in Game 1. As we were saying, the win by Van Vliet over Brian Raw was the first loss of the career for the Chapman pitcher, who was 24-0, as he called strike, 2-time All-American. It's pretty darn impressive. DeMauro, the 3-1 pitch. And that is ball 4. They do check the swing, and Mark Lima says he did not go around, and the bases are full. Back-to-back walks by Kevin DeMauro. And that'll bring up the shortstop, number 14, Kevin Olab, the number 7 batter in the lineup. He was hit by a pitch. He's 0 for 1 today. He also sacrificed. Hit by a pitch in the 7th inning before being out at the plate. Martucci flips to Roman, on to first, not in time, and a run comes home. If Juan Cruz had still been at second, you'd have to think the way that he turns these double plays that the inning would be over. But Ola with the fielder's choice and the RBI. And that is the first earned run allowed this year in 10 innings by Kevin DeMauro. So the streak comes to a close, and the lead is 4-0, and that should be more than enough for Kyle Van Vliet for Rutgers-Newark. Nasty, who singled in the 7th inning, second baseman. 12-6 curve there by Kevin DeMauro, and that's strike one. That's a fastball in the outside corner, strike two. And Kevin DeMauro, who has not been throwing strikes in this inning, does indeed have an 0-2 count here. The 0-2 pitch is fouled off the plate. Ola was going in contact there, trying to steal second base. DeMauro's thrown 23 pitches, 13 balls, 10 strikes. Chopper towards third. Brian Bastillo patiently throws across the diamond. Plenty of time to retire Nasty to end the inning. But 2 more runs come across for Rutgers-Newark. They have 2 hits. They leave 2 on, and we head to the 9th inning. The Gothic Knights have made some impressive rallies this year. They came back from 8-0 down against Newman, the 25th ranked team in the country, to tie that game at 8. They came back from an 8-3 deficit against Mount St. Mary with 6 runs in the 8th inning to win that game in Florida 10-8. They put up a 4 spot against 27th ranked St. Joseph, Maine in the bottom of the 8th inning to win 7-5. But right now, this would be the most impressive comeback of all if somehow NJCU can score 4 runs against Kyle Van Vliet to keep this game going. Van Vliet in this game has been nothing short of awesome. 8 innings so far. He's allowed 5 singles, struck out 7, walked none. 109 pitches, 7 fly ball outs, 8 ground ball outs. Just 1 wild pitch. He has faced 27 batters. And a 1-2-3 inning here by Van Vliet would allow him to go through this game while facing just 3 over the minimum. He'll have to do so against the top 3 batters. Patterson, well, top 3 spots in a lineup. Patterson will be Kevin DeMauro probably hitting, unless he's pinch hit for, and Michael Martucci. So Patterson will be due up first. He singled in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 3, and he's hitting .317 on the year. Curveball by Van Vliet as they call it strike. The Knights do have what it takes. They've proven they can come back. I mean, again, they've had 2 comebacks this year against nationally ranked teams, 1 for a victory. But this is a tall order. Check swing, and Mark Lima says Patterson did not go around. It's 1-1. After this game, we'll have a 30-minute break before we try to bring you game 2. 1-1 pitch. That's a curveball for called strike 2. If this holds up, Van Vliet will improve to 5-1, and Nelson Maldonado, as that's fouled off right at us, and saved by the glass. Tim Camp just saw his life flash before his eyes, and he realized that the window was down. The 1-2 pitch to Patterson. That's off the plate, and it's 2-2. Nelson Maldonado, if he loses, would fall to 1-2, would lose back-to-back games after 2 straight no decisions. So he'd be without a win in 4 straight appearances as a starter. That's fouled back towards us yet again as Patterson fouled off and fought off a very tough curve pitch. Maldonado's lone win this year was a 1-0 win against Daniel Webster on March 12th in Florida. That's a called strike 3 to Patterson, who goes down looking for the first out. And, of course, that 1-0 win by Maldonado was NJCU's first 1-0 win since 1974. We'll have a pinch hitter here as Pete Senazin comes to the plate.
Attention, please. Pinch hitting for NJCU, number 15, Pete Senazin.
Senazin, the pinch hit for DeMoro. Senazin, a better batter, as is easy for me to say, than DeMoro. But not by much. Still struggling at the plate in limited plate appearances. Senazin is hitting .238 with 5 hits and 21 at-bats. DeMoro hitting just .154 after the first pitch ball. Ball 2 by Van Vliet, who's not walked the batter today. Senazin, 5'9", 165-pounder out of Carteret, New Jersey. In the air to right center, and coming in and making the catch is Ballister, and the Gothic Knights are down to their final out. And that will bring up Martucci.
Number 10, Michael Martucci.
Martucci has struck out twice. He's also lined out to center field. He is 0 for 3. So Rutgers-Newark with 2 runs in the 7th and 2 insurance runs in the 8th, and that looks like it's going to be enough for Van Vliet. Martucci fouls the first pitch off in front of the plate and actually ricochets and hits him in the right thigh. No balls, 1 strike. That's off the plate. 1-1. 121 pitches thrown by Van Vliet. Probably will not be available for game 2. A curveball is a strike. I say that tongue-in-cheek, of course, knowing that he cannot pitch game 2, but you'd have to, if you're a Rutgers-Newark fan, wish that Van Vliet, the way he's throwing, can just pitch every single day. The 1-2 offering, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 8 is enough as Van Vliet retires the side in order here in the 9th inning, and the Gothic Knights lose game 1 by a score of 4-0. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on. In game 1, 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Scarlet Raiders, no runs, 5 hits, 3 errors for the Gothic Knights, who fall to 8-10 on the year. Rutgers-Newark improves to 10-7, and they win the 2012 NJAC opener between these two teams in game 1. So Rutgers-Newark with 2 runs in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, and Kyle Van Vliet with a complete game, his 4th complete game of the year. 9 innings, allowed 5 singles, 9 strikeouts, and no walks, and a 123-pitch complete game by the Rutgers-Newark ace. The junior from Glen Rock, New Jersey, gives Rutgers-Newark the 4-0 win. So we're going to take a 30-minute break here on the Green and Gold Network. We will bring you game 2 of our doubleheader as Wendell Rodriguez will try to right the ship. The Gothic Knights now with a 3-game losing streak. The first time this year they have lost 3 in a row. Final score in game 1, 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Rutgers-Newark, no runs, 5 hits, 3 errors for the Knights. Rutgers-Newark defeats NJCU 4-0. You're watching Gothic Night Baseball here on the Green and Gold Network. We're going to sign off for a moment, and we'll return for Game 2 at approximately 2:50 with these starting lineups.